Let's start by changing the fraction 1/8 to a decimal. To change a fraction to a decimal, we just divide. So we take the numerator and divide it by the denominator. The denominator slides over, the numerator goes on the inside, and then we ask ourselves, how many times does 8 go into 1? 0 times. Add a decimal, add a 0. Bring the decimal to the top. Now we ask, how many times does 8 go into 10? Well, 1 time. 8 times 1 is 8, and I subtract that from the 10, giving me 2. Add a 0 and bring it down. 8 goes into 20 2 times because 8 times 2 is 16. And I get a remainder of 4. I bring down a 0. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 8 times 5 is 40. I get a remainder of 0, and there's nothing else to bring down. So our decimal is 0.125. You could put a 0 in front of it, but you don't need it, and I'm having trouble fitting it in that box, so I'm just going to write 0.125. Then we move on to the second part, where we change the decimal to a percent by multiplying by 100. So I take the 0.125, I multiply by 100, and multiplying by 100 moves the decimal twice to the right, making it 12.5. Let me show you. Once, twice, the decimal ends up between the 12 and the 5. So the percent is 12.5%. Remember, cent means 100, so we're really saying 12.5 per 100. So let me change this to a highlighter to show you out of 100 squares, I would color in 10, 12, and then a half of a square. So this picture is supposed to represent 12.5% because it's 12 and a half per every 100. And last but not least, I forgot to mention that this is a terminating decimal because it ends. I want you to start noticing the difference between a terminating decimal that ends and a repeating decimal which goes on forever and has a pattern.